Everyday English Podcast
by English Talking Today.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to English Talking Today. My name is Mary.
And I'm Steven.
And today, we're diving into a question we get all the time. What does my English level mean? It can be a little confusing, right? You hear about A1, B2, C1. What do all those letters and numbers really stand for?
Exactly. And the most important thing to understand right away is that your English level isn't just about how many grammar rules you know or how many words are in your vocabulary. It's about how you can use the language in the real world.
That's so true. We're talking about things like introducing yourself, ordering a coffee, telling a story about your weekend, or even just asking for directions. It's all about practical application. You might be a whiz at grammar rules on a test, but if you can't have a simple conversation, your real-world level might be different.
Absolutely. And something else to remember is that your skills might be stronger in some areas than in others. You might be fantastic at listening and understanding conversations, but maybe speaking is a bit more difficult for you. Or maybe you love reading, but writing feels like a struggle. That's completely normal. Most people have a mix of skills.
So, let's break down the common levels that people talk about. The most widely used system is the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, or CFR. It's a great way to think about proficiency. It breaks things down into three main categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced.
Let's start with the beginner levels, which are A1 and A2. If you're at this level, you can handle very basic, everyday tasks. You can introduce yourself, say your name, and ask simple questions like, "Where is the train station?" or "What's your job?" You can talk about familiar topics like your family, your house, or your daily routine, but it's usually with simple sentences.
Right. You're building a foundation, learning the basic building blocks of the language. Next up, we have intermediate, which includes B1 and B2. This is where most people really start to feel a shift. At these levels, you can handle most common conversations and situations. You can tell a story, give your opinion on a topic, or describe your dreams and ambitions. You can understand a lot of what you hear and read, even if you don't know every single word.
B1 is about being able to get by and handle typical situations, while B2 is about becoming more comfortable and fluent. If you're B2, you can participate in a professional discussion in your field, or you can watch a TV show and understand the main points. It's a huge step.
And then we have the advanced levels, C1 and C2. If you're at this level, you're using English fluently and comfortably. You can express complex ideas without searching for words. You can participate in sophisticated discussions and understand nuanced topics like jokes, sarcasm, or idioms that are difficult for people at lower levels. At C2, you're essentially at a native-like level. You can use the language in complex, academic, or professional situations with ease.
So, think of it as a journey. You start with a few tools in your toolbox at A1, and by the time you reach C2, your toolbox is completely full, and you can build just about anything you want with the language.
So, how do you figure out where you're on that journey? A lot of people ask us how they can check their level.
The most official way is by taking a formal exam. If you need a certificate for a job or university, exams like the IELTS or TOEFL are the gold standard. They give you a very precise score that places you in a specific CFAR level.
But you don't have to pay for an official test to get an idea of your level. There are tons of free online placement tests. A quick Google search will show you many options. These tests usually ask you a series of questions and give you a rough idea of your level based on your answers.
And finally, and maybe the most useful way, is through self-assessment. Just think about what you can do comfortably in English. Can you order food at a restaurant without feeling nervous? Can you watch a video or a movie without subtitles and understand the main points? Can you chat with a friend and talk about your weekend plans? These real-world actions tell you a lot more about your level than a multiple-choice grammar test.
Okay, so once you know your level, the next question is always, how can I improve? We've talked about this before, but the number one thing is consistent daily practice. You don't need to study for hours and hours. Just 20 to 30 minutes every single day can make a massive difference.
We love to break it down into the 4 main skills. Let's start with listening. Dedicate 5 to 10 minutes a day to listening to English. You can listen to a podcast like this one or listen to an English song. Try to focus on the lyrics and the meaning. You'll be surprised how much you pick up.
Next, there's speaking. This can feel a little intimidating, but you don't need to find a native speaker to practice with. Just spend 5 minutes describing your day out loud, maybe to yourself in the mirror. You can talk about what you had for breakfast, what you plan to do after work, or just describe the things you see around you. It's all about training your mouth and your brain to produce the language.
Then reading. Spend 5 to 10 minutes reading an article, a news story, or even a short story. Don't worry if you don't know every word. Just try to get the main idea. This builds your vocabulary naturally.
Building on that, let's talk about the cultural context of language. English has different dialects and accents. American English is different from British English, not just in spelling, but in common phrases and idioms. For example, trunk in the US is boot in the UK. Understanding these differences helps you navigate conversations better.
Now let's add a bit more detail to this. A common misconception is that grammar is the most important thing. While it's foundational, fluency is built on communication, not just perfect rules. For instance, a native speaker might say, "I ain't got no money," which is grammatically incorrect but perfectly understood. It's a great example of how language is a living thing.
Vocabulary is more than just memorizing lists. It's about learning words in context. When you read a news article or listen to a podcast, try to guess the meaning of a new word from the surrounding sentences. Then, look it up to confirm. This method helps your brain remember the word and how to use it correctly.
And let's not forget the power of idioms. Idioms are phrases where the meaning isn't obvious from the individual words. Break a leg means good luck, and it's raining cats and dogs means it's raining very heavily. Learning these helps you sound more natural and understand native speakers in everyday conversations.
Another great tip for improving is to set specific, achievable goals. Instead of saying, "I want to be fluent," try something like, "I will learn 5 new words a week," or "I will have a 10-minute conversation with my friend in English every Tuesday." Small, consistent goals lead to big results.
Let's also talk about the importance of intonation and rhythm. The way you stress certain words in a sentence can change its meaning entirely. For instance, saying "I love this" with a positive tone is different from saying it with sarcasm. You can practice this by mimicking actors in a movie or a podcast.
You can also use technology to your advantage. There are many apps and websites with language exchange features where you can connect with people from around the world. You can teach them your language while they help you with English. It's a win-win situation.
Speaking of goals, remember to celebrate your progress. Every time you have a conversation without a hitch or you understand a joke you couldn't before, give yourself a pat on the back. Acknowledging your achievements keeps you motivated.
Remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself. Don't get discouraged if you feel like you're not making progress. Sometimes it feels like you're in a plateau, but you're still building a strong foundation.
The best way to learn is by doing. Don't be afraid to try using new words and phrases you learn. Even if you make a mistake, it's a learning experience. Think of it like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
It's all about making English a part of your life, not just a subject you study.
Finally, immerse yourself in English media. Change the language settings on your phone, watch movies and TV shows with English subtitles or without, and listen to English music. The more you expose yourself to the language in real-life contexts, the faster you'll improve.
That's a fantastic point. Another thing to consider is the subtle differences between words that seem similar. For example, the difference between look, see, and watch. You look at something with intention, you see something passively, and you watch something for a period of time, like a movie. Understanding these nuances makes your English much more precise.
Well said, Emily. Now let's get into some more advanced concepts for those of you who are ready to take it to the next level. Did you know that the word literally is now commonly used to mean figuratively? This drives some people crazy, but it shows how language evolves. Dictionaries have even added this new, opposite meaning.
For those aiming for C1 or C2, a key skill is understanding collocations. These are words that commonly go together. For example, we say, make a decision, not do a decision, or heavy rain, not strong rain. The right collocation makes your English sound much more natural. You can learn these by noticing them when you read or listen.
Absolutely. And let's not forget phrasal verbs. These are a huge part of everyday English. A phrasal verb is a verb combined with a preposition or adverb like give up, look for, or take off. The meaning is often different from the individual words, so you have to learn them as a unit. It can be tricky, but it's essential for fluency.
And finally, writing. You can spend 5 minutes writing a few sentences in a journal. You can write about your day, your plans for the weekend, or even just a list of things you need to do. If you have a friend who speaks English, you can even chat with them online. It's a low-pressure way to practice.
And for academic or professional settings, mastering discourse markers is crucial. These are words and phrases that connect ideas and help the listener follow your train of thought. Words like however, therefore, in addition, and on the other hand. They signal relationships between ideas, making your speech and writing more coherent.
Another great way to improve is by using a thesaurus, but not just to find synonyms. Use it to find words with slightly different connotations. Happy is a good word, but joyful or ecstatic express different levels of emotion. This adds richness and depth to your language.
We often get asked about the best resources. Beyond the apps we mentioned, think about using authentic materials. Read news articles from BBC or the New York Times. Watch TED Talks on topics you find interesting. The language is natural and you're learning about something new at the same time.
Remember the power of a language journal. Dedicate a notebook to English. You can write down new words and phrases, practice writing short paragraphs, or even just jot down your thoughts in English. The act of writing solidifies what you've learned in your mind.
For speaking practice, don't underestimate the power of shadowing. This is a technique where you listen to a native speaker and immediately repeat what they say. It helps you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation without worrying about creating your own sentences. It's a fantastic drill for your mouth muscles.
It's also important to be aware of the different registers of English. You'll speak differently with a friend informal than you would with your boss formal. Recognizing the context and adjusting your language accordingly is a sign of advanced proficiency.
Ultimately, remember that language is a tool for connection. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to be effective. Every new word you learn, every conversation you have, and every mistake you make is a step forward.
That's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to English Talking Today.
We'll see you in the next one.